Today we're going to be solving two-step equations. I'm sure that you remember solving equations from last year. We have our angel on hand to help us out and make sure that we get our solving done well. Okay, she's just going to head off to the side, but she'll always be there for us. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to look at just solving a simple two-step equation, and we'll start with 7 equals 2y and minus 3. So the first thing we're going to do is we will undo our addition or subtraction using the inverse operation. Don't forget that we're going to use our inverse operation. Okay, I think we can see that. Inverse operation, which means I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So remember, what we are looking for here is the opposite operation. Negative 3 plus a positive 3, this cancels, that makes a 0. So 7 plus 3 is 10, and that equals 2y. Now that's our first step. Our second step is that we're going to take this multiplication problem. We are going to divide to undo it, and we're going to divide by 2 because that's what we are multiplying by, so we will divide by the same number. 2 divided by 2 equals 1, so that gives us 1y equal to 10 divided by 2, and that is 5. So in this problem, y equals 5. Please note a couple of things that we want to remember from what we have learned before. Here we are looking at the addition property of equality, which says if I add something to one side, in order to maintain equality, I must add it to the other side. And down here, we're looking at the division property of equality. If I divide by something on one side, in order to maintain equality, I must divide the other side by the same number. So those are some things that I want you to keep in your mind. Okay, let's look at another problem. X divided by 9, and let me move my camera here. X divided by 9, and we're going to subtract 15 equals 12. Once again, first we undo the addition or subtraction, so I'm going to add 15 to both sides, noticing again what's happening here. Okay, this cancels out, leaving me x divided by 9 equal to 27. Okay, now I have division, so I'm going to use the multiplication property of equality, which says I'm going to multiply both sides by 9. Okay, 9 divided by 9 here, this creates a 1. Okay, and 27 times 9 is x equals 243. And I can always come over here and do a little bit of side math. Okay, 9 times 7, 63. 9 times 2, 18, plus the 6, 24, and there we see the 243. Don't be afraid to do a little math on the side to make sure that you get that, that amount proper. So if we are going to write a function, always remember that we have to make sure that let me just get us a clean page here. We have to make sure that we always define our variables. So we're going to make sure that we do that as we are working with this. So let's say we have $25 to spend on tulips. So we've got $25 for tulips. Okay. And with word problems, of course, don't forget, we're not writing down everything, but we do have to write down the things that, you know, make sense for the problem. What is the greatest number of bulbs that you can order? And we need to have tulips costing 75 cents each. So tulips cost 75 cents each. We also have a shipping charge. We have shipping costs of $3. So shipping is $3. Okay, so let's look at what we know and what we don't know. $25 is the maximum amount that we have. So we don't know how many tulips we can buy. So when I look at a problem like this, I'm going to say, well, I know that if I let X equal the number of tulips, then I can say 0.75 times X plus $3 equals my $25. Okay? So I've taken those words and now I've put them into a function. So I can look at this and say, okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract that 3 from both sides. Okay? This is once again the subtraction property of equality. That leaves me with 0.75x equal to 22. Okay? And now what I'm going to do is divide both sides by this 0.75. Okay? That makes a 1. Ooh, let me move my picture here. And I'm left with x equaling this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do the math here. So I have 22 being divided by 0.75. I'm going to move my decimal point 2 places, which means that I must move my decimal point 2 places here and put it straight up. 75 will go into 220. Well, we know 75 times 2 is 150, and times 3, that would be 225, so it only goes in here twice. And there's my 150, and there's my 70 left, bringing down the next 0. So I know that I can't do this times 10. Certainly that's not going to work. So we're going to make this times 9. 9 times 5 is 45. Carry my 4. 9 times 7, 63. Plus the 4, 67. Okay. Doing my math to make sure that I have everything correct. And I have a remainder of 25. Well, what that tells me is I can get 29 tulips, okay? I only have a partial tulip here. So this is a word problem. Our word problems don't always come out exactly right. So I'm going to say, instead of x equals, I'm going to say I can buy 29 tulips. I can buy 29 tulips. The question was, how many tulips can I buy? And the answer is, I can buy 29 tulips. It doesn't come out exactly even, but we can't buy that 30th tulip. So, hopefully this is enough for you to be able to work out some problems on that. And so we will see tomorrow. And here is our angel to tell us to have a great evening.